Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be going over the full moon in Leo happening February 5th, 2023. I have structured this video differently so that you are able to visually see the chart and follow along as I go over all of the energy. I am going to do a general energy of the moon, and then we will get into all 12 signs. You definitely want to identify where you have Leo in your chart so that you are able to see where in life this energy is showing up for you personally. You want to see where the full moon is illuminating your chart, which house it is in. So the chart that I have displayed here, I am using whole sign houses. So for example, if you have Leo, where it's showing here in the third house, this is illuminating topics along your community, neighbors, local travel, places that you go day to day. The third house also represents siblings and cousins. This can also have to do with publishing, or it's also early childhood, like childhood education. I'm not sure for anyone that's listening. I don't know if that applies to anyone listening, but that is in the third house as well. So when you know what area of your chart and what area of life this is illuminating for you, where this energy is activating, because this full moon is definitely activating some interesting energy. We are going to have, a change in our self-confidence, passion, the passion that we have for life, and really the passion that we have for doing those things that we truly enjoy doing, like our hobbies and all of our interests. And with the sun being the farthest from home right now in Aquarius, this is usually the time of year where we tend to kind of have a lack of energy and a lack of motivation, and can sometimes fall into a type of depression if we are not taking care of our energy, because the sun is the farthest from home, which the sun is at home in Leo, and right now the sun is in Aquarius. So usually this time of year it is a little bit of a lower vibe. We definitely have to work and raise our energy up consciously so that we don't fall into some type of a depression. So let's get into more of this energy. If you look at the charts, I'm not sure how advanced in chart readings you are, but even if you are not, we have an aspect which in astrology is called a T-square, and this is a bit of a challenging aspect, and the sun and the moon is making a T-square to Uranus. Uranus is the planet of change, disruption, chaos. So what this is basically showing is that there is going to be some type of change or disruption with these houses in your chart. So you want to identify where you have Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and then even also Scorpio. Now we also have the nodes there. We have the North Node and the South Node, and we have the North Node in Taurus, the South Node in Scorpio, and these are the nodes of fate. So this is our directions in life. These are very karmic. So this is basically an activation of an energetic shift that is going to take place with the direction that we are going in life, and you will know what this is. This will be an energy that you have been feeling over the last year, because Uranus has been passing over these degrees in your chart for the last year. Going forward, then Uranus went retrograde, and then now Uranus is direct, moving back over these degrees. So Uranus has been shifting up this energy for you over the past year. So if you can identify things that have come up, anything that has come up over the last year, this is going to activate more of that energy. And then with the nodes being there, this is where there is an activation of the direction that we are supposed to go in. Wherever we are leaving, which is our South Node in Scorpio, this is even activating more like information, like something even coming up to our awareness, not even information, but just anything coming up to our awareness that we have to let go of. Because the south node represents things we need to let go of, and the north node is where we are traveling towards. So I really hope I'm explaining this where you can understand. But basically, with this energy, there can be an activation of something coming up that is forcing us to look at, be aware of, and consciously work through so that we are able to let it go and move forward. And with Uranus there, it's going to be sudden and it could be chaotic and very disruptive. But we are having this shift at this time to redirect us and put us back on our path towards our destiny, because that's what the nodes truly represent, right? Is our destiny and karmic energy and where we are going in this lifetime. So you want to identify where this energy is going to be showing up for you personally by looking at your chart and seeing where you have Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and even Scorpio. And then you want to identify if you have any personal planets or points at any of these degrees. So 16 degrees and 15 degrees. And you can even do an orb of, I would say, 3 to 4 degrees. So anywhere from, I would say, 13 degrees to 17, 18 degrees, that you'll be feeling this more significantly. Let's get into all 12 signs now, starting with Aries rising. So Aries, you have this full moon happening in your 5th house of creativity, passion, play, fun, children, hobbies, and interests. So not only is this full moon kind of ruling all of that energy, but you're getting a double hit of it because it's happening in your 5th house. So lucky you, Aries. This is on your 5th and 11th house axes. So this can be activating some new ventures or new creativity when it has to do with your social media platforms or what you are putting out in your social groups or friends, or activating something along the lines of your friends, or maybe activating some change with your friends in social media and social groups because of that T-square to Uranus in your 2nd house. So with the T-square to Uranus in your 2nd house, this is activating also change and possible disruption to your finances, material possessions, topics along those lines, as well as even your how you feel about your finances. This could even also activate energy with creating or causing some type of disruption with like the creativity or what you're putting out on social media, that's having you have to rethink it and relook at it because of that T-square. And again, with it being with the Uranus being in the 2nd house, this can also even be reworking the energy around how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your money and finances at this time. So also note that this is energy that you have been working through over the past year. So if you can kind of maybe pinpoint things that have come up around those topics and themes over the past year for you, you will be able to see what this energy is activating. So overall, Aries, this energy is really nice. And happy full moon. So Taurus, you are having this full moon in your 4th house of home and family. So there will be some activations regarding home and family and real estate and property, and something coming up that is really going to be asking for your attention to look at something to create balance, because this is the 4th and 10th house axes. So the 10th house is your career, your work, your public reputation, and what you are putting out into the world. And there is some balance needed between home and family and what you're putting out and doing out into the world, right? So there may be something activated that is making you have to look at this and shift things up a little bit so that you can create that healthy balance between work and home. And then with Uranus transiting your first house, which you, Taurus, have been moving through this energy for some time. You're probably used to it. Oh, poor Taurus. But no, it's nothing bad. But with Uranus, it's just a lot of sudden change, and you've probably been going through that a lot. And so there may be another activation of that. Whatever you have been moving through over the past year, there may be another activation of that energy. This, with it being the first house, this can even be you creating a new identity or a new persona in some way, which is really nice, or even a new look. So there may be an activation of that where you want a new haircut or some type of new look, which is always nice, right? It may shock a lot of people and come really out of the blue. But yeah, it's nice. So Taurus, overall, this is a decent energy. And always remember that when we are aware of these things, we can prepare much easier. Gemini, this full moon is happening in your third house of community and neighbors, local travel, siblings, cousins, writing, speaking, communicating, shifting your mindset. So this energy is very nice for tapping into that creativity and doing some writing, doing some journaling. If you have any projects coming up, this is perfect energy for that. With this full moon being in the third and ninth house axis, there may be something going on with like higher education, religion, or if you have been doing a lot of traveling where there's needing some type of a balancing out maybe what you are providing in your community or doing more locally to what you are doing more out while you are traveling or putting into religion or whatever the higher education part is, whether it is religion or higher education, or you have been doing a lot of traveling. There may be something activated where you do have to balance that energy out. And then with the T-square to Uranus in your 12th house, this is activating an ongoing energy that you have already been moving through over the past year. Uranus has been moving back and forth over these degrees in your 12th house. And the 12th house is one of the spiritual houses. It is also one of the houses that is more hidden. So if you have felt like you have needed to not isolate yourself, but really kind of pull away from the world and have some alone time in order to tap into your intuition or kind of gather yourself, you may have another activation of that where you will want to not isolate yourself, but just have your alone time so that you can reset your energy. So overall, Gemini, this is a really nice energy. Happy full moon. Cancer, you have this full moon happening in your second house of money, material possessions, finances. The second house also has to do with how you feel about money and your self-value, self-worth. So this is very nice. I feel like this is activating this energy that is going to make a shift where you have a different view on how you want to make money. You have a different outlook towards money. I think this is really nice, Cancer. And with it having that, with this full moon having that T-square to Uranus in your 11th house of friends, social groups, social media, I think this is activating some type of change. I feel like if you have some social media platforms or you really put stuff out online, there's going to be a disruption to that, but it's causing you to become more creative and eventually steer you on the right path to where you're supposed to be, to then where you are making more money and it is more lucrative. So I really think this is a nice energy for you, Cancer. And with it being in the second and eighth house axis, this may even have to do with your partner's finances, where your finances and either your partner's or outside resources, you're needing to have to balance that out a little bit. So definitely be mindful of that, where something may come up that is a little sudden and disruptive, that is causing you to have to just balance that energy out between what you are getting financially and what you are putting out there. So overall, Cancer, this is an amazing energy. Happy full moon. Happy full moon, Leo. This is happening in your first house. So this energy is all about you, your identity, how you look, how you feel, your personality, your character. If you want to switch up your style and switch up your look, this energy is definitely for it. So this is really nice, Leo. This is having you this is really activating that creativity within. And because the sun has been in Aquarius, which we know at this time of year, when the sun is in Aquarius, the farthest away from its home, which is Leo, sometimes us Leos tend to have a little lack of energy, and it's really hard to kind of raise that vibration. We need to actively tap into and do things to activate the energy. So I totally get that. So this full moon will be an activation of that. So that is really nice. Then we have the full moon creating that T-square to Uranus in your 10th house of career and public reputation and what you are putting out in the world. So this is an energy that you have been moving through over the past year. There may be another disruption or sudden change to what you are putting out into either career, what you're putting out in the world, but it's causing you to just have to relook at this and make a shift, make a change, and shift it up a bit. And it's going to be related to this new you that you are creating. Whether this has to do with a new look, a new personality, it's really fun. I feel like this is some kind of really like fun, chaotic, out of the blue energy that you're going to be working with. So it's really nice, Leo. Overall, this is a really nice energy for just switching it up a bit. If you wanted to like take on a new identity or create like a new persona online, the energy is totally there to support it. So overall, Leo, this is an amazing energy, and happy full moon. Virgo, you have this full moon happening in your 12th house of spirituality and past lives. And this can represent retreats, places that are hidden, even maybe taking some time away from the world for yourself. I really feel like this is activating some really deep spiritual healing. And with this full moon being on the 6th and 12th house axis, this can be you integrating your spiritual practice into your daily life, where you are moving your spirituality into like your health, daily routine, and your work. So you're really focusing on the spiritual connection and how you are moving through the day and just being very mindful and tapping into that kind of conscious living, which is really, really nice. I feel a really deep spiritual healing with this energy for you, Virgo. And then with the T-square to Uranus in your 9th house, this can be activating like some need for higher wisdom or higher education or learning more about this spiritual practice. And this is energy that you have been moving through over the past year. So if you look at the past year, what you have been moving through, you will see maybe what is going to be activated again around that. So overall, Virgo, this is a really nice energy. Happy full moon. Libra, this full moon is happening in your 11th house of friends and social groups, social connection, social media. And with the full moon being in the 11th and the 5th house axis, the 5th house is all about creativity, passion, hobbies, interests. It's almost like something is being activated where you feel this pull to take all of your hobbies, like whatever it is that you truly love and enjoy doing, and putting that out into the world, putting that on social media. So like deciding to maybe open up an online store. If you like create anything, or you make like certain types of products, or you enjoy like some of your hobbies is making products of some kind, or building or creating something, you may decide to start putting that online and making money with it. That energy is definitely there to support something like like that. And there may even be an activation with Uranus making that T square to the eighth house. The eighth house represents like other people's money, your partner's finances, outside resources. So there might be like a challenge or sudden disruption to your partner's finances where you're having to, it's like, okay, I do all of this work at home and I really enjoy doing this. Maybe it's painting or, whatever the hobby is. Maybe I should put this online and we can make money with it. Like something along those lines. It's like, that's kind of the story I'm feeling behind this energy, which is really nice. So it's like a disruptive energy with the Uranus, but it like has this like really nice outcome. And it's really happening to shift your direction and put you on the path to where it is you're supposed to go in this life on your journey. So it's really nice, Libra. I really like this energy for you. Happy full moon. Scorpio, this full moon is happening in your 10th house of public reputation, what you are putting out in the world, what you are known for, your legacy. So this is very nice energy for really gaining that self-confidence in what you're putting out in the world, tapping into that creativity and passion, really getting the creative flow and the creative juices going into creative projects, especially if you own your own business and you've been kind of stuck, or if you've been stuck in like this lack of self-confidence when it comes to your business and what you are putting out in the world, this is definitely a shift in energy for that. So that is really nice, Scorpio. And then with this full moon being in the 10th and the 4th house axis, which is your home and family and what you are putting out in the world, something may come up that is causing you to have to rethink or make a shift in balancing out that energy. And also with the T square to Uranus in your 7th house, this can be an unexpected or sudden change or disruption regarding your partnerships or your close personal relationships that is causing you to have to make a shift with your home and family and your job, career, what you are putting out in the world. Now, with the energy from Uranus in your 7th house, this is an energy that you have been moving through over the past year. So you kind of already have an idea of what this is. If you can think what has come up regarding partnerships over the last year, you will have an idea of what can possibly be activated for you around partnerships. So overall, Scorpio, this is a really nice energy and happy full moon. Sagittarius, this full moon is happening in your 9th house of higher education and long distance travel, religion and wisdom and all that fun stuff. So the 9th house is actually a really positive house. So Sagittarius, you really get to enjoy this full moon. Now, this is in your 9th and your 3rd house axes. So something may come up that is really boosting your self-confidence when it comes to publishing or writing or speaking or communicating. Or if you have been thinking about doing anything like this and really putting it out or traveling and like putting it out to the world by traveling, that energy, there's really energy there to support that. There is also this T square to Uranus in your 6th house, which when I tapped into this energy, it was kind of interesting because I really felt like the need or want to like travel to really learn about other cultures. So like shifting up your daily routine suddenly to learn about other cultures. I don't know, this just really came up for some reason when I was tapping into this energy. So definitely be mindful of that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It actually sounds really fun. And Sagittarius, I'm sure you would love doing something like that. But overall, this full moon is really nice for you. And the T square to Uranus in your 6th house is all about your work, health, and daily routine. So there can be some sudden change and disruption to that. But this is energy that you have been working with over the past year. Uranus has really been moving back and forth over these degrees in your chart. So depending on if you have planets or points, obviously this is going to affect you more personally. But there may be something come up that is causing you to have to make a shift or change in some way with your work and your health and your daily routine. And this can cause you to want to travel or even like go back to school because the 9th house is higher education. So yeah, definitely be mindful of that. And it's a really good energy, Sagittarius. So happy full moon. Capricorn, you have this energy happening in your 8th house of your partner's finances, taxes, inheritance, money coming in from some type of outside resources. So there may be something activated where there is change to your partner's finances, or it could possibly be tax season and you get a nice return, or something is activating that is causing a disruption to that return where you are having to kind of look at it a little deeper because there is that T square to Uranus. But this is your 8th and your 2nd house axis. So there could be something come up that is making you take a look at it, or something be activated where you need to create more balance between your finances and your partner's finances, or your like material possessions and maybe money that you were getting from outside resources. There's like a need for balance in those areas. And then with the T square to Uranus in your 5th house, your 5th house is all about your passion and joy and what you really enjoy doing and your children. So something may come up a little bit disruptive, but this is an energy that you have been moving through over the past year. So if you look back over the past year to what has come up regarding those topics, regarding those 5th house topics of children and what you enjoy, your hobbies, your interests, passion, play, whatever has come up that you have been moving through, there could be another activation of that. So just something to be aware of. But overall, Capricorn, this is a nice energy. Happy full moon. Aquarius, you have this full moon in your 7th house of partnerships and close personal relationships. So this may be activating some type of change or creative venture with your partner. Also like some self-confidence. If you have been really lacking self-confidence in your relationships, this could activate something along those lines, because this is your 7th house and your 1st house axis. So there is this like need for balance with you and your partnerships. But this can be really nice because this can be really bringing in some self-confidence, some passion into your relationships. And then you have that T square to Uranus in your 4th house of home and family. So this Uranus energy is something you have been moving through over the past year, because Uranus has been moving back and forth over these degrees in your chart. So if you can think back to what has really come up around home and family over the past year, it will give you an idea of what can possibly be activated or what could possibly show up or come up around this time. And yeah, there's this conversation between you, your partnerships, and your home. So there might be something come up suddenly that's needing you to just balance those out. But like I said, this is an opportunity to really bring in some passion to your close personal relationships. So overall, Aquarius, this is really nice energy. Happy full moon. Pisces, this full moon is happening in your 6th house of work, health, and daily routine. So something may be activated around this time where you are needing to shift up your daily routine in some way, or shift up your routine at work. Some other energy I really tapped into with this was, because this is in your 6th and your 12th house axes, your 12th house is all about spirituality, karma, past lives. It also represents places that are hidden. So even kind of like taking some time away from the world and to yourself. I feel like though you're really going to try to, you might try to integrate a more of a spiritual practice in your daily life, which is really, really nice. And even like shifting your health so that it's more like spiritual and like more conscious. So shifting your daily routine in a more conscious way, I feel, which is definitely really, really nice. And then you have this T square to Uranus in your 3rd house. And your 3rd house is all about your community, your neighbors, your siblings, local travel. Your 3rd house can also represent speaking, communication, learning, information, publishing, writing, all those types of things. So this energy you have been dealing with a lot over the last, well, on and off over the last year, because Uranus has been moving over these degrees in your chart back and forth. So anything that has been ongoing along those third house topics, it will really give you an idea of something that may be activated because the new moon or the full moon is creating that T square to Uranus. So definitely something to be aware of. But overall, Pisces, I really like this energy for you. Happy full moon. Thank you for joining me, and please don't forget to subscribe and like this video if it aligned with you, and I will see you in the next one.